Hello everybody, welcome to Nadia Collectibles. My name is Nadia. Thank you so much for being here. For today's video, we're going to be talking about the top 5 most expensive figures in my collection. I got my lucky Sasuke shirt on so that I can get through this. I haven't been collecting for super long. It's been about 2 years now. And there was a period in time where I paid aftermarket for a lot of figures. So there's a couple that we'll be talking about that I paid disgusting prices for. There are of course some other figures in the same price ranges as some of the figures that we'll be talking about today. But the figures that I picked out for this particular video are some figures that I haven't talked about at all on this channel. And I think they deserve a little bit more spotlight. At the end of the day, I just collect what I love. A lot of the stuff that I love just so happens to be very expensive, but it is what it is. They're in my collection. I'm happy to have them. I love them so much. So yeah, let's just go straight into the video. Okay, so first on my list is the Tri-Eagles 1/6 scale One Punch Man resin, and the total cost that I paid for this one is $1,200. Definitely the most expensive figure in my collection. I remember exactly when I bought it. So pretty much I just finished watching One Punch Man, or at least catching up to it, and I just really wanted a figure of the two of them together specifically. I know there's like plenty of figures of Genos by himself and Saitama by himself, but I really wanted one of the two of them together just because their brotherhood and their bestie relationship is so cute. I love it. So yeah, I was just scrolling through Fanatic Anime Store and I saw this one. The listing price for this one was about $950. I was texting my friends and I was like, guys, should I get it? And they're like, no, Nadia, don't be crazy. And I was like, I won't be crazy. Check out. And I bought it. So my friends were like, Nadia, you're a psycho after I bought it because it's super expensive. But I was like, it's okay. I want it in my collection. I really wanted something of the two of them. And usually when I have my mind fixated on something like that, like a concept I just have in my head and it's already been executed, like there's no stopping me from buying it. And in this case, that's what happened. But I would never change that. I'm so happy that this resin is in my collection. I've had it for over a year now, and it's never leaving my collection if I can help it. A, I just don't want to ever put these pieces back in the box. There's so many pieces to this resin, I just don't want to put it back in. And then B, it just has such a sentimental value to me, being the first licensed resin in my collection, and also being a resin of two characters I really love. Tri-Eagles did a wonderful job on their face sculpts. The face sculpt's the most important thing to me, and I think they both look fantastic. I love the dynamic aspect of the base. The LEDs on this resin are insane. They're so amazing. Originally, I think this resin was around $1,100 for the pre-order price. I got this one on sale for $950. So like I said in my how to buy resin statue video, a lot of the times these licensed resins drop a little bit of price after release. And yeah, it's just an amazing piece, and that's just number one on my list. So $1,200 is the most expensive figure in my collection. And we're gonna move on because it gets a little bit better than this. We'll see, I don't know. Okay, so the next figure in my list is quite humbling because it's an example of me succumbing to the aftermarket. So next on my list is Miss Caroline Yuri. She has always been and will always be my favorite bunny in my collection. I don't know what it is. I'm just absolutely obsessed with her. I love everything about her, and I paid $850 for her. She was really expensive. It was a moment of weakness. Pretty much I was like talking with one of my friends about this bunny figure that I really wanted, and they're like, oh, like who is it? And I was like, it's one of the most sought after bunnies ever. And they were like, oh, is it Caroline Yuri? And I was like, yeah. And I don't know why, but that conversation was the reason why I found any listing of her and bought it. I definitely don't fall to aftermarket as much anymore. I'm usually a lot more smart with purchasing bunny figures. I have over 100 bunny figures in my collection, but she was the most expensive. She is just a showstopper though. She's like my best friend. I do know that there's a recolor of her, a tanned version of Caroline, and me being Caroline's biggest fan, of course I ordered it. Her aftermarket definitely has dropped since her recolor was released. I honestly am not mad about how much I paid. I know I'm not the only one that fell to the aftermarket for her, but I am her biggest fan. If there are no Caroline Yuri fans, I am dead. So just check up on me. If you just find out that nobody likes Caroline, it's because yes, I did pay almost $900 for her, which yes, embarrassing, but also it happens. I bought her early on in my bunny figure career where I was buying a bunch of bunny figures, and she was definitely the most expensive and is still the most expensive bunny figure I've ever purchased. We'll see if New Jersey tops her because I have no idea what shipping is going to be for her. In terms of what I paid versus how much she cost, I think I paid over $600 more than what she actually was up for retail. Don't be like me, don't pay aftermarket on figures. Everything's getting released these days, or at least there's going to be recolors of everything, and where there is recolors, there is a drop in the aftermarket of the original release. So just don't be like me. There's no other bunny figure that I feel this way about. She's amazing. And yes, I'm a victim to the aftermarket, but so is life. What can I do about it? She is the queen of my collection. She really is. And I am just obsessed with her, and I don't care. I paid a lot of money for her, but would I change that? But no. Next up on my list, we have the two 1/4 scale on Myoji girls. So we have Suzuka, Gozen, and then we have Senheim. I had gotten Senheims on Ami Pre-owned for, I think 52,000 yen. I got her with EMS shipping though. Her EMS shipping was super expensive. I think it was like 20,000 yen. So I'd say she's closer to the 700 range. And then Suzuka right here, I got on Mercari actually, from a store in Mercari for around $500, I think. But I wanted to talk about the two of them together. Obviously, they're both from Onmyoji, and they're both Animester figures. They are just the prettiest figures in my collection. They both have like resin bases, so the bases are a little bit heavy, and then the two of them are made of PVC, so they're lightweight. The price range obviously took into consideration their boxes. Their boxes are massive. So of course the shipping for Senheim was really expensive, especially coming from Ami, which is in Japan. It was very expensive for EMS. I originally bought Suzuka Gozen first, and I was like thinking about it for a while, and I was like, I know Senheim's super expensive, but can I feel satisfied having just one of the set in my collection? Spoiler alert, no, I had to get them both. Being a 1/4, they are a bit smaller. I'd say they're more like a 1/5, but with the base, obviously they're a lot taller than normal 1/4 scales. But in terms of their body and stuff, I'd say they're closer to a 1/5, 1/6 scale. But the two of them are just absolutely fantastic. They were my first figures from Onmyoji. Onmyoji has some of the most beautiful designed figures ever. And overall, I'm just obsessed with Onmyoji now. I don't know what else to say. They just have the most beautiful designs ever. Really, like, I've never had those type of figures with the eyes that follow you around the room, and it's just so cool. It's really just amazing. And Animester's been popping off lately with the figures. They've recently been doing a lot of more affordable scale figures, and I'm a huge fan of them. They very well executed figures. These two also came with beautiful displays, which I'll show here, and the little extras that come with this just make it that much more special. They have little pins too of each of the characters that just look amazing. Overall, I think they're worth the price. If you're able to buy it, I think they're worth it. I think they're just showstoppers in anybody's collection, and I don't regret a thing. I'm glad I bought them, even though they're in my most expensive list. They really are just amazing figures, and I think they're worth the price. You definitely see with the resin effects and the shipping, that's what makes their price skyrocket a bit, but they're just amazing, and I love them so much. So these are number 3. I had to do them as a pair. I don't want to separate the two, so the two of them are going to be paired together as number 3 on my most expensive list. Next up, we have RD Studios 1/6 scale Gone Freaks. This is my favorite figure in my collection, mainly based off of sentiment, and also because it's just an absolutely amazing resin statue. And this resin cost about $500 on Fnatic Anime Store. I got it when it just released. I think I got one of the in-stock listings, and I've been obsessed with RD Studio ever since buying this resin. I have their Karapi cut downstairs in my basement that I still have to unbox, and then I have their 1/6 scale Killua also on pre-order. Hopefully they wrap up production soon for that one. But this is one of my favorite figures in my collection because Hunter x Hunter was the first anime I ever watched, and when I was talking about the One Punch Man resin earlier on in this video, when I have a concept in mind and it's been executed, there's no stopping me. Like, I need to buy it. So this is exactly that. Chimera Ant arc in Hunter x Hunter was the best arc I think I've ever watched in all of anime, and especially seeing Gon's rage. Having Gon in his normal form and then beast mode Gon is the coolest thing to have in one resin statue. I also like that the base is not overly complex. It's a very sought after resin statue now in the aftermarket because it's such an amazing concept, and it was so well done by RD Studio. They do such a good job with the resin statues. I love Gon so much, and he was the first main character I ever really loved, and this piece just encompasses everything that is Hunter x Hunter for me. I really can't wait to finish the set. Hopefully Killua releases soon because I really want to pair the two of them together. You can't have Gon without Killua. I think this one cost around $400, and then shipping for this one was around $87, $90. So in total, he was around $500, which I think is a pretty fair price, but this was months ago. I bought this resin months ago. I think it was, again, one of the first resins I ever ordered, and it will never leave my collection. If there was a resin statue that had the most meaning to me, it's this one, just because, like I said, Hunter x Hunter was the first thing I ever watched. Anybody that watches Hunter x Hunter or loves Hunter x Hunter like I do knows how amazing and impactful this resin statue is. Gon looks fantastic. His face looks absolutely perfect. I love like the battle damage aspect of it. And then beast mode Gon is so sick. He has LEDs in his eyes as well. So if I turn off my lights and turn his LEDs on, this is a scary sight. I think it's a really good interpretation of the scene because obviously you don't see both of these two forms at once. Having like normal Gon and then berserk mode Gon right behind him, obviously that was in the anime itself. There was never a moment where the two of them were right by each other because it's the same person. But RD Studio took an artistic approach to this and were able to execute it in a way that Hunter x Hunter fans like myself were very much satisfied, and I love this resin so much. It is such a meaningful piece to me and it will never ever be leaving my collection. Okay, now for my $400 price range, we have two Dallin Studio resin statues. So we have the Dallin Studio 1/4 scale Satoru Gojo, and then we have the Dallin Studio 1/4 scale Geto. I was originally just going to use one of them, but I think you can't have Gojo without Geto again, so I had to bring the two of them together. They're around the same price range. I believe they're around $400 each. The shipping was pretty pricey. I bought them both from Fanatic Anime Store on pre-order. I pre-ordered both of them. I'm really hoping one day to see Toji as well, and Sukuna, of course. Sukuna is my favorite character from Jujutsu Kaisen. Don't ask me why. Right now I'm angry at him, but I still love him. Hopefully we see more of the Jujutsu Kaisen men in this line. So both of these are 1/4 scales. I actually did not realize that they were 1/4 scales when I ordered them, and then when I got the shipping invoice, I was like, why is the shipping so expensive? And then I received the two big boys. They're huge. Gojo was obviously the first one to get released, and then Geto just recently released, and I think they both are phenomenal pieces. The sculpts of both of them are fantastic. Gojo looks fantastic. I do prefer the masked head over the unmasked head just because I think it looks more like Gojo, but you know, it's just classic Gojo. And then Geto comes with two heads as well. So he has a long hair version and a man bun version. I just like the long hair because it's more recognizable as Geto, because they did take more of a realism approach to Geto's one for some reason, but I really like it. I can definitely appreciate a realism face when it comes to at least these two characters, and they're just amazing pieces overall. My Geto did come with a broken base on the back here, which I am supposed to be getting a replacement from Fanatic Anime Store for, but otherwise they both are just fantastic. And I really like the little chibis that come with both of them. So we have the little chibi of Geto, which I unfortunately dropped, so I had to fix him. And then we have like a little chibi figure of Gojo as well. So it's like two figures in one. It's pretty cool. It's actually the first, I guess, NSFW male figure I ever ordered. I don't display any of my figures in the nude. I normally always display them with any clothed version that they offer. If they don't offer a clothed version, I will find an alternative, or I just won't buy it. That's just how I prefer to display my collection. I'll buy it, but I just won't display it as it's intended to be displayed for some reason. Geto looks absolutely fantastic. The two of them are just amazing, and I'm really happy I ended up ordering them. Definitely hiked up a bit in Aftermarket in terms of their prices. I really love like the swaggy shoes. He's got his Air Force Ones on. They look awesome. And then we have Geto with the classy business shoes. Pretty much just his normal outfit. And then Gojo with his gray sweatpants. I guess that's what people want to see. But yeah, they just look amazing, and I'm really happy I ended up ordering them. I really hope that Dallin Studio continues a line of their 1/4 scale male figures. His bases are definitely really hefty, which definitely added on to the price as well. But I just wanted to show these two for the 400 range because I don't feel like I've showed them at all in my collection. They weren't in my room tour, and I just wanted to talk about them a bit. So yeah, the two of them are pretty much around the $400 range. I really love the mirror base aspect of it. It's kind of doing me dirty right now in the video because it keeps catching my side profile. But yeah, the two of them are just very well done. I love the interpretation for Gojo. Everybody was freaking out when this one went up for pre-order. This is my first resin statue and pretty much figure in general of Geto, which is quite a crazy first figure for him, but he looks amazing. I really do love this piece so much. I love like all the extras with the little chibis that come with the two of them, and then the mirror bases actually being working is really cool too. Geto's also has LEDs in the mirror itself, which is really cool. It would have been cool too if Gojo's came with LEDs. Gojo's does not have any LEDs, but he definitely comes with more accessories than Geto. And yeah, I really love the two of them. I love Gojo and Geto together, so I finally have them reunited in my collection. And that pretty much concludes the top 5 most expensive figures in my collection. I do have other figures that also fall in these price ranges, especially the $400 price range, but I really just wanted to spend some time talking about these ones. Thank you so much for watching my video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you like this video, go ahead and give it a like, subscribe if you'd like to as well, and I'll see you guys later. Goodbye!